What is up, interwebs? Big Blue here. Matt, the Cut Man, with me as always, and we are fresh off of seeing Kong Skull Island. Matt?
Allergies.
Yeah, happens that way sometimes. Let me tell you how this is going to work, folks. We are going to talk about this movie. Non-spoilers up at the top. We will give you fair warning when we get to the spoilerific territory a little bit later on. Matt, without spoiling anything, what'd you think of Kong Skull Island?
Without spoiling anything, it was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was very good. I'm kind of hit or miss when it comes to monster movies.
Naturally.
And yeah, this one hit the nail right on the head.
I agree. I enjoyed this equally as much. It was very satisfying.
Yeah, it was funny. I liked the characters I was meant to like. I really didn't like the characters I wasn't meant to like.
For the right reasons.
Yeah, for the right reasons.
Yes.
I apologize. I didn't go on silent.
How about that?
I will text you back. There was brevity to it.
Mm-hmm. It didn't take itself seriously at all.
No, it did not. It just jumped right into, we're a monster movie. We're not going to disguise it as we're going to be a serious movie. Oh, let's, okay, there's the second notification.
How about that?
Let's just hit the mute button. What do you say? All right. One more for good measure. It just didn't take itself seriously. It wasn't like, oh, this is an art piece. No, this is like, we're a monster movie. This is going to be fun. It's going to be, it's going to be a throwback to the monster movies of old.
Absolutely.
And it was good stuff.
The biggest thing that stands out about this movie is this movie was gorgeous. It was beautifully shot. The director of photography on this movie was a guy named Larry Fong, who, if you don't know who he was, I'm certainly sure you're familiar with his work. He was the director of photography on movies like 300, Batman vs. Superman, Watchmen. Here's some movies that you might be familiar with. Super 8, Lost, Predator, the new Predator movie that's coming out. So The guy's been around a little while, and he has a wonderful, wonderful eye. This movie, I even commented to you when we were watching it, as they're flying across the island, when they first get there, it's like, ooh, then later there's running and screaming, which was the throwback to the Lost World.
Dr. Malcolm.
Yes, exactly. But
nature did find a way.
Oh, and did it ever. But yeah, it was, like you said, it was funny when it was supposed to be funny. And can I just say...
Please?
John C. Reilly.
Yeah. Please, say all you want.
He was so on point in this movie. He was definitely the comic relief, but without being over-the-top slapsticky, because his character had such the potential to be so over-the-top as the guy that's been... I mean, you've seen the trailer, so this is not a spoiler... Stuck on the island for 30 years. Way too long, exactly. But, yeah, so the action in this movie is exactly what you'd expect. You get King Kong fighting stuff.
Yeah.
And the motion capture, if they did motion capture, the animations with Kong, I thought was some of the coolest stuff that we've seen in... a long time with giant monsters.
Yeah,
you agree?
It was motion capture. One of the guys that did one of the apes from Planet of the Apes did Kong.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And of course, he probably studied under the great Andy Serkis.
Yeah, well, naturally.
Naturally. So.
And speaking of studying under the great, can we... I know there were obvious references and throwbacks, and it clearly hit you over the head, but Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, oh, very.
I mean, the entire going to the island was, you might as well have had the, what was it, Flight of the Bumblebee? What was the Apocalypse Now? It's not Flight of the Bumblebee. That would be ridiculous.
No, it's Ride of the Valkyries.
Ride of the Valkyrie.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Because Flight of the Bumblebee would be ridiculous.
Yeah, a little bit.
But somebody put that together.
I think I know what I'm doing this weekend. Either that or the Benny Hill thing.
Now I want to see it. My God.
But yeah, no. Well, I mean, the whole thing took place, right at the end of the Vietnam.
Yeah.
So it's
Last days of the
definitely
war.
a period piece, and it felt like a period piece. I thought it did a really, really good job of capturing the tone of the late '60s, early '70s. Some of the banter between the hippie journalist and the military guys
Indeed.
It was on point, but it didn't hit you over the head with it. That
Yeah.
wasn't what the movie was about, but it was still accurate to the period, and I thought they did a good job of that.
Yeah.
So, anything, without, again, spoilers, anything negative that you want to touch on here?
Not really. I didn't come in to critique it harshly too much. I mean, there were some negatives. It tended to drag a little bit at points.
I had that as well. Some of the pacing issues seemed a little bit.
But again, it wasn't meant to be this overly critical thing.
Some of my issues with the pacing was that it kind of dragged in some places, but only long enough for you to notice that it was dragging. It was like, okay, something happened now, and then something would happen. It was like, so again, not getting into spoilers. When you see the movie, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. So, overall, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I suggest that you go see it in the theater because it is worthy of. We suggest. Absolutely. Forgive me. Apologies, dear Cutman. So, anyway, that's where we're going to go ahead and call this spoiler territory. If you haven't seen the movie, Cutman, what should they do?
Go see the fucking movie.
Go see the fucking movie. Exactly. So, you have been warned. We're getting into some spoiler territory now, so.
Hold on to your butts.
I see what you did there. Fucking. Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam motherfucking Jackson.
When he says that line, you and I both at the same time. And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's a total throwback to the line that he says in Jurassic Park right before he flips the breaker to reset the park. So hold on to your butts, flip. And it's a great little Easter egg for geeks like us that know exactly where it came from.
It was great.
So the best part of that line was the fact that you were wearing your InGen shirt.
I was.
Which was awesome. So
did not know that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Although I wore the InGen shirt on purpose. Naturally. We're going to an island. There's going to be monsters.
Naturally.
Parts of it were filmed in Hawaii.
Of course.
Speaking of Sam Jackson's character.
Please, speak away.
Did the character that he played, I didn't write down his character's...
his character's name was Packard. Colonel Packard.
Colonel Packard. Did the crazy... Was it Major? It felt like a Major.
Marlowe, yeah. That John C. Reilly played?
No. The Sam Jackson's character was a Major. His rank.
He was Colonel.
Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Packard.
Colonel. Did the crazy Colonel, who had completely lost touch with reality, who is now in charge of the military, did that overtone, was that lost on anyone else?
No, it wasn't, but it was one of those things to me that while I was watching it, I was like, really? Just another one note, I gotta kill the monster villain? And then I kind of started to think about it, and it was really, there was a little bit more to it than that, but I know where you're going with that. Because it was, okay, he wants revenge for Kong killing all his men.
That's what it started out as.
Yeah, but then it just kind of came the...
But then he spent too much time in the heat and went crazy.
Okay, where are you going with this then?
He was crazy.
Well,
in that he just wanted to kill. It was not really just about revenge. Once he was presented with the argument that, oh no, we shouldn't kill Kong because there are far worse things, and in an ecological system, we can't upset the balance. Oh no, motherfucker, we're going to kill Kong just because I've got a big gun and I'm going to kill things.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in my negative category that it was kind of one of those. Yeah, he was crazy.
Yeah,
definitely was.
But I'm saying in the parlance of our time.
Yeah, no, it's not
there
lost
was
at all.
there was a definite connection between that and modern time of the crazy person that's detached from reality that's now in charge. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, little bit. Not quite sure.
What was I saying?
I don't know, but the chemistry between Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson was good.
I thought the soundtrack was good.
Oh, dude! It's of course it's
it made me want to buy records.
This is where my freaking little nerd brain goes, what the hell? And then my logic brain goes, he's fighting a giant monkey. Where'd they get the tools to fix the boat? Where'd they get the power to power the record player? Where'd they get the records? You telling me that the records survived the helicopter crash? And where'd they get the fuel for the boat? All those 4 things. And then my logic brain goes, they're fighting giant monkeys. Okay, you win. I get it. So, but yeah, the soundtrack was definitely on point. It was one of those time life greatest hits. The sounds of the 70s.
Sounds of the 70s
was awesome. I agree. I loved it. One of my biggest things about this was how much this movie expanded on the lore of that MosterVerse that Godzilla set up.
Yeah,
with the finding out that there's that underneath the hollow area under the crust, and this is one of the points where the monsters can come up. And
that did a good job of explaining it. Putting rationale to there is a reason. It's a little crazy.
It's a lot crazy, but it's
a stretch. But at least they're attempting to explain it, which I could appreciate.
Yeah, and the fact that Kong is the last line of descendants of these guardians of this breach in this place. I thought it was really, really cool. And the thing that really gets me excited is the line where he says that Kong is still a juvenile and he's still growing.
Yes.
The fact that this takes place in 1973, by the time we get to when Kong vs. Godzilla comes out, which will be in 2020, it'll still be like 47 years, which is about 50 years later. So he's going to still have been growing for another 50 years. Yeah. So he's going to be about the same size that Godzilla was in that movie a couple of years ago. So
yeah, looking forward to that.
Very much so, yeah. Especially with that post-credit scene that we saw with King Ghidorah and Mothra and all the other monsters from the old Godzilla movies.
Yeah. So. How about I know it's jumping back to old John C, but
sure. Hey, I'm always willing to go jump back to that. He's awesome.
How about the great? This was PG-13, but how about the great use of
the one F-bomb?
Yeah.
Loved it. It was with the ants, right?
Yeah. What was it? It was like watch out for the ants. You think it's birds, but it's fucking ants. John C. Reilly is hysterical.
Yeah, his humor was very well placed and very well used in this movie. It was when they're meeting up with the other guys on the boat and stuff, and he's like, "It's in the trailer, but it's still. I was expecting it, and it still made me laugh." You guys look like a good group of guys. We're all gonna die here. You shouldn't have come to this place. I knew it was coming, and it still made me laugh. Just like the line when Toby Kebbell says, "Is that a monkey?"
Yeah.
It still made me laugh. I knew it was coming. It still made me laugh. So there is definitely a lot of good humor in this movie. But I got to tell you, I don't go places. I'm not an adventurer. I don't like to travel much. I'd follow Tom Hiddleston through the jungle because that dude's freaking awesome. This movie was carried by Tom Hiddleston. And
indeed,
he is just so good in everything that he does. And I really didn't care about his backstory. They gave us a little bit of his backstory. They gave us a little bit of Brie Larson's backstory. But at the end of the day, you don't really need it. You just know that they're there to help get us to Kong.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters. So I thought this movie was a lot of fun. It's not going to win any Academy Awards, and it's not meant to. It it doesn't take itself seriously. It's just a fun shove popcorn in your face for 2 hours, and it was.
Hey, if Suicide Squad can win some Academy Awards,
right?
Looking at you, Suicide Squad.
Yes, we are.
Looking at you, Academy.
Yes. Anyway.
I don't have anything to say, but I'm looking at you. You're on notice. That's one.
Notice. You're on it.
You're on the list. It's a serious list.
Nothing happens on the list. So, anyway. Anything else to say about Kong Skull Island, my friend?
I'm looking forward to see what's happening in 2020.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm really, really excited about the expanding MosterVerse, as they're calling it. So, those are our thoughts on Kong Skull Island.
What are yours?
Please, comment down below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on Facebook. Share this video amongst all of your friends. And until next time, folks, we will see you on the interwebs.
Indeed.